boil out a bunch of cases, and what happens is you're boiling out with waxy water, and you know, and it just keeps adding more and more wax to it. So what we do is we keep this tank completely free of wax, and that's for like a clean boiling water. I'm glad a couple of teeth fell out here because
oh, that's a nice little.
Yeah, they make these things. You know what these things are actually made for? Is they were made for the pour cases. You know how, like, if you know the technique where you process in cold cure acrylic, and they put it in hydrocolloid. So in order to, obviously, you can't boil out the hydrocolloid, so you have to take every single denture tooth out and, you know, boil it out and clean it off and clean all your wax off. So they make this so that you can line up a full arch of teeth in there and not have to worry about missing the order of the denture tooth. So this is the one that I did, and now look what I did. Remember I told you about not getting tunnels? Well, I got a tunnel. So now I got to break that tunnel. Right there. See what I meant? Yeah. I want that completely opened up. So in other words, when I did that, I didn't get that all the way down. Okay? So, and that's all I did now, was just open up that tunnel a little bit. Like I said, the only thing I'm going to do about the excess stone, you can see stone sitting here, different places. I'm just going to leave it. What doesn't come out, just scraping it a little bit, and what doesn't come out with the boiling water, just watch yourself. I just don't like I said, I don't get anybody. What doesn't come off with the water and the boiling water, I leave on here. All this stone that's out here, I'm leaving on there. I'm not scraping away any stone.
I like those too. Yeah, that's nice.
We, you know, it was funny. I was at a lab once, and they have these on here. They, you know, they come like this, and they splashes everywhere. And I was at a lab once and saw that. So when we got this new unit, we actually got rid of an $8,000 boil-out unit from Cabo and went back old school on this because the thing kept breaking down. You know, the digital parts of it never worked, and so it was just a real pain in the butt. So now all I do is,
and this is drawing from this tank, right?
What's that?
Yes, this is cycling.
Yes. And you can see, and it's the waxy water.
Yep.
So it's just recirculating and cleaning. So now I'm taking clean water and doing the final boil out. So, you know, I can make sure that all the wax is off. And I did want to, I wanted to show something else because this is the other thing that we used to always show when we had the other boil out unit. We didn't have one of these tanks that had where we could just keep clean boiling water in. So we used to do this. Put it in the sink. And then you can buy these tea kettles for like $29.99 or whatever at a Walmart, and you can do basically the same thing. So you take it out of there after you get your initial waxy water boiled off and everything, and then you use this as the clean water if you don't have that. But you know, I think that this is probably one of the most important steps that you can do to ensure that the cases come out clean and that your separator stays pretty good. And then the denture teeth, now that I got them in here, and then I go just a little bit one step further, and probably not the most safest thing environmentally. I don't ever trust that I got all the wax off these teeth. So I just kind of give them a monomer.
Baptize them.
Kind of, yeah. It's like I do whatever it takes to make sure that I don't have wax on the teeth, because that's if I leave just a film of wax on here
That's all
and put
it
it back
takes.
in here, that's all it takes, and you'll have acrylic covering your teeth. You know, I mean, this is just so accurate, and every little pinhole is going to make it.
Now the other teeth that don't come out, do you take them out?
Nope, nope.
Just let them sit there. Okay.
Only these here. Now, and what I do when I do it is I make sure the tooth goes in there, and then instead of putting glue all over everything, I take a little bit of glue, put it on a piece of paper, pick up the tooth on only the buckle. I only need a slight bit of glue, because you put too much glue on, the same thing, you create a space, and now, you know, so that's all I do to glue that tooth back on. I always put the tooth in there first to make sure that it is the right tooth. A little tiny bit on the buckle, that's all I need. And a lot of times when you use putty, you'll get teeth that come out. And one of the reasons for that is because putty is an insulator, so the wax doesn't get as hot around the denture teeth as it does the rest of the stone when it's doing it. So the wax doesn't get hot enough to really let all the denture teeth come out. So that is one of the downfalls also of using putty for your cases. But the payoff again is how great and clean the case comes out. So it's worth the little bit of inconvenience that you had on that.
So you said about 7 minutes in the tank to
7 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's what I have it in the tank at boiling water. Now this is the really easy part. I don't have to paint. If I did this in dye stone, I would just put the separator over all of the teeth, everything. I just pour it all over everything. Because this separator is made to wash off the denture teeth. Like, you know, in most cases when you paint, you have to go around like this and paint each tooth. Not with this separator. With this separator, if this was, say, the dye stone one, which I already did here, all I did, and I'll even do it right here just to show you what I did, basically did just like this. Now, this only on the stone one, not on the, and when you use silicone putty or anything like that, you don't paint the putty. So, that's what I did. So easy. Then you just rinse it off, lightly, roll it off. And you do that 2 times, and that's it. So putting the separator on is really easy. So I just put my separator on, get it everywhere. And as long as I never put this brush into that, there, my separator. So I can use whatever's left over, as long as I don't contaminate it with the brush. And then here, like I said, all I have to paint is just the stone areas.
You paint the teeth too?
Nope, not
in this case.
Not in this case because it's got silicone
Putty,
on it.
yep.
So that wherever there's silicone, separator can't stick.
Yep.
So I don't need to do that. Okay? And I don't even need to rinse this one off or anything to do that. I can take.
Now this is an Alcoat.
No, this is
So
Ivoclar
if it was
separator.
Alcoat, how would you change your?
Okay, if it was Alcoat, you couldn't do what I'm doing right now. If it was Alcoat, you put it on a little bit. You know what I mean? You would take some separator, like if you had it in a cup, and you dip it and you go and put it on a little bit.
Not put it on.
Let it dry off. If you're going to put a second coat, you got to let it completely dry. This is the other nice thing about this. To put my second coat on, I can do it immediately afterwards. I don't have to sit here and wait and babysit this thing to do my second coat of separator. Just do exactly what I just did. The excess. Mix it on. Blow it off. It's done. That's it. Until I get ready. Now, the next thing I got to do to remember is before and everybody will inject their own case. And before that, what we have to do is remember to put that little foam spacer in there. So that's what that little blue thing did. It created that space for that foam spacer to go in. And that's, we'll put that on. What I normally do, but because I want you to do it, what I normally do if I'm doing it on my own, at this point right here is when I put my foam spacer in. So I don't forget it. I make it like a, you know what I mean? It's like as soon as I got it painted, I put the foam spacer on. So that's it. Just a really quick second coat over here. And really, I don't even, except for around the screws, I don't even need that much because the only place that there's really going to be acrylic is these screws, and then we just a little bit of palette area there. And that's it. Now, before, when we inject today, we get ready to do the case, just before we close the flask up, we're going to take cold cure monomer on a Q-tip. That's okay, just we'll just put cold cure monomer on a Q-tip, kind of blot it so that it's not saturated. We don't want to put a ton of monomer in there, and just rub each tooth. And you'll feel the tooth kind of squeak, you know, because it's so clean, it gets so clean. So you make sure that if there's any residue of anything on there, it's gone. And as I said yesterday,